Welcome to the What Podcast, which bands this year that matter. It's Barry Corder, Lord Taco, Brad Steiner, and a fantastic haircut. Let's just start there. Start with the haircut.
Who? You or me?
What?
Because I'm.
Is there a delay, guys?
Your haircut?
Is my new microphone not working, guys?
Oh no!
Anything?
It's working fine. What's wrong?
All right, fine. If you guys don't want to talk about my hair, then that's fine. So be it.
It looks great.
Thanks, guys.
I'm impressed.
I appreciate that. I did it all myself.
I'm really impressed with that microphone.
Oh, you're more impressed with this?
Yeah.
Then you're really impressed with this. Here, hang on.
Hey,
so
got the jokes.
So I'm happy to see you guys. I'm excited to get going for a episode that I think that we've done in the past. I feel like we've done an episode like this before, but today is a Bonnaroo and don't. A Bonnaroo. Or is it do-a-roo or don't-a-roo? Which one's more clever?
Do that roo-doo.
Don't do it roo-roo. Is my rule number one.
Don't do roo-roo.
So yeah,
I'm ready to get into that, but I've got a funny story to share too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
it's
related.
What happened?
You remember a couple weeks ago when you were here, we were in my basement and we made some promises to give some stuff away to anybody who would, order a T-shirt, because that's part of what needs to be given away. Well, we got a lovely email request and an order from Madison, and I'm not even going to try to say her last name, but
it's probably Hey Taco. It's probably Smith.
Even
the dad can't.
No,
get that.
it's I think it's Hadziko. I mean, we had to say her name a bunch because she was a Patreon.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But she lives in Ontario. Very nice person. We did talk to her. So anyway, I finally boxed it up, picked up a bunch of stuff, which I won't share yet because I want her to be somewhat surprised. But there's some CDs, some stuff, some what podcast related stuff. Anyway, boxed it up, and I remembered that I think I sent her something before, and to mail something to Canada, there's a form you have to fill out. So I remembered that, but I didn't remember that it was a big deal, just a form that you have to fill out. So I go to the post office this morning, find it, fill it out, feeling pretty good about it. But I realized when you write out her email address, it goes across the line and down the line, and I'm thinking this is going to be an issue.
It's one of those jerseys where the name just sort of like curls around the entire number.
Turn next page. So I'm already thinking, okay. But there's nobody there, right? So I go to the counter, give this to the guy who's wearing a mask. He's got like this bowl cut. He's kind of strange. I knew I was in trouble when he gets the form and he very slowly looks at it and he takes out his pen, and where I had written my address, Chattanooga, Tennessee, and the zip code, CHATT, he takes his pen and he starts drawing an A. And it's the size. No. I mean, it's so small I couldn't even see it. Circle, circle, circle. And then he does an N. And then he does the O. I mean, and I'm like, oh, this is not going to go well. And then he hands it back to me and says, okay, you need to fill out what's in it. And I thought, whatever, I'm just going to make something up. So I wrote down 3 or 4 other things. Then he hands it back and says, you need to write down the quantity of each. Make something else up. And he says, you've got to fill this whole thing out because I have to enter it into the computer. It's going to ask me and it'll kick it out. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And he says, you got to put a value. And I said, it's going to be a made up number. He said, I don't care. I just have to put it in the computer. And you got to understand, I realized pretty quickly that we have a case of somebody who doesn't care, talking to somebody who is anal to the, and we were loggerheads. And all of a sudden people start coming in. I'm there 20 minutes with this guy. When he starts entering it, I had to show him my phone to show him how to spell Madison's name, because he couldn't read my handwriting, and he's typing it one letter at a time and looking. And people behind me are pretty nice until about minute 20, and then people start saying, I got to be at work in 20 minutes, and I'm staring the hole through me. It was quite the ordeal, but we ended up that's the other thing. So he finally says, there you go. How do you want your receipt? And I said, I don't care. Email is fine. He said, hit that button and guys, I'm not kidding. The most archaic, old enter your email system showed up on the screen. And every time I would hit it with my finger, it would type in 2 of the wrong letters. So I had to go back.
Pretty much. You got a brand new email today.
It would beep, and all this. And that's when I could really feel people. And I said, I just, type in something and let's get out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was bad.
So it's fascinating you went through all of this, Barry, because now you know how we feel when you do anything.
Well, I told you. Yeah, it was a case of somebody who doesn't care meeting up with somebody who cares too much.
I mean, when was the last time you went to anybody? When's the last time somebody's gone to the post office? This whole thing seems archaic.
Well, because of these merchandise that we have, I've actually been several times recently. Yeah. So how
much?
Not sure I'm going again.
All right, so this is now what I'm hoping people are like me. If you're anything like me, and I pray to God that you're not, you would be requesting everything from Barry's basement right now just to get him back at the post office to stress him out. Like, that's the kind of friend that I am.
Fair enough.
Start making up names right now.
Yeah, make sure it's international.
Getting all of my friends' addresses, everything I can possibly do. Oh, where's that dude we know from Pakistan?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but they can look up the address. So if you go in there and you got a number off or a street off, or it's northeast and not southeast, it'll kick it out. So that's happened to me too. They'll look into this doesn't exist. And again, there's people behind me, and it's yeah, it was pretty funny.
It's pretty good.
I knew, like I said,
old
when
man
he started drawing.
Yeah, old man gets out old man.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. What about Taco? What's Taco been doing?
Pretty much the same thing.
Okay. I knew that wasn't going to be different.
Yeah.
I knew the answer to that one.
Did you? Let's see. Did you see my free car?
I noticed something about a car, but I mean, look, it's Taco. There's a car thing happening all the time, so I don't know what I'm looking at half the time. So I'm sorry, I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Well, she left it in my driveway for 8 or 9 months, and so now it's mine.
I love how it's just she.
Wow.
She left it.
Someone just forgot? I mean, where did I leave that car?
No, she moved out and never came and picked it up, and I
would
bugging her to come get it.
I would be considering that back rent.
Yeah, I mean, she owes me storage fees.
Yeah. I mean, she lived there. She lived there I'm surprised she wasn't in the car when you went to drive it away, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's right. Been using it as her closet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's mine
well,
now.
Congratulations.
Driving it around.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Another car for Lord Taco. I don't know if we talked about this, but I got to interview my best friend in the world, Mr. Win Butler from Arcade Fire. That was a highlight of my career. I don't think that Barry would watch it and think it was any good. because I just sort of fanboyed my way through about 20 minutes. Hey, you remember that time that we hung out?
I saw a few minutes of it.
Hey, you remember that time that we palled around? It was.
I saw a little bit. It was a little Chris Farley, but not quite. You didn't quite get that bad.
And then, so the reason I bring that up is because I have to do another one this Thursday, and I really need you guys' help. I am interviewing Måneskin.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And how do you think? Let's just knowing me the way that you guys know me. What do you think I have so far as preparation is concerned?
I know the first question. What do you think it is?
Okay.
Russ.
I'm going to go with none.
No, I'm going to go with, what do you think of my hair?
Oh.
Close. First question I have. So you're a band.
Yeah. Am I saying it right? Måneskin?
Yeah, it's gonna be about 8 minutes on makeup.
Yeah.
I got nothing. I really got nothing. So if you have any ideas for me, please pass along some Måneskin tips.
See if Barry will send him a package.
They are from Finland, by the way, or something like that. No, they're
Get an address.
Yeah. Make sure you dress it correctly.
Get an address and make sure they can write neatly.
Would you guys like some random DVDs of Babe 2?
Yeah, Babe 2. Have you seen that? It's great. I can send you my list of go-to questions when I have an interview with somebody that I have no
Don't do
idea
that
who they are.
because we've asked them on this show before, and I don't want anybody to know
I
the
know.
go-to.
That's why I said I didn't say them out loud.
I have given up one of your go-to questions.
Yes, you
and,
did.
You'll have to dig
my
for
best one.
your best one. You'll have to go dig for that one. But yeah, I'm hitting the bottom of the Barry barrel when it comes to finding questions to ask, and it's a weird amount of pressure because I mean, you guys know me. I don't really ever stress. I don't ever really feel pressure, but it's just strange to do this for an entire company. Like it's here for the entire $1 billion brand that I mean, they've entrusted this $1 billion brand interview with this guy, and I'm this close to making fart jokes every time I turn around and they want me to interview serious artists. This is a very bad idea. It's one thing to do it for a podcast, but for an entire brand and company, they've made some very, very bad decisions.
Well, it's what separates the pros. You'll get there. You'll figure out those go-tos.
Yeah, I don't know. So I got that, and then the only other thing I was going to tell you guys, I've totally forgotten. So there you go. Congratulations, you. Yeah, right. I did it.
Nice.
I did it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
see, that's why you're a pro.
Well, I mean, it wasn't that interesting to begin with. I mean, it's. I mean, I did go to a Mets game. I got to meet Mr. and Mrs. Met.
I saw that. Mr. Met, yeah, I saw that picture.
You met the Mets.
Meet the Mets, greet the Mets, step right up and make out with Mrs. Met.
You had your T-shirt and your hat on. Never knew you to be a Mets fan until
what?
Now I see this picture.
Really?
No, I knew you were the Redskins. I didn't know you were a big Mets fan. No,
I'm surprised by that, Barry Quarter.
No, I just.
Well, I would look to Taco to be my backstop here, but Taco doesn't even know who the Mets are.
You're talking about sports,
yeah, I
right?
know. Yes, I'm talking about sports. Okay. Yeah, this is like him trying to ask me about a carburetor and a Camaro. I have no idea what that is.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I've been a Mets fan since I was legit 6 years old, and I've told this story before. They had just won the World Series, and my best friend in Little League was a Mets fan, and if anyone ever tells you that they're not a bandwagon fan, and they're true, everybody starts their fandom out as a bandwagon fan. Everybody.
Yeah,
because you like them for 3 reasons. 1, they just won something. 2, you live near the school or the team. Or 3, you like the uniforms. As a child, that's how we all find our fandom, is based on those 3 things, and that is essentially what we beat up everybody now about being bandwagon fans. But at the core of us, we're all bandwagon fans. I'm a diehard Mets fan because in 1987, I was 6, and my best friend had a love for the Mets, and they had just won something, so there you go. we didn't have a baseball team in DC, so I had to become a Mets fan.
Yeah, it depends on your age. Like, 1973, I was 10. So, Notre Dame was good, the Dolphins were good, and the Cincinnati Reds were good. So those are my teams.
So there you go. That's all I got for you. That's pretty much the show I got for you this week.
Yep, me too.
All right.
Do's and don'ts.
Bonnaroo. And here's what I'm thinking, Taco, is when we go through these, for those people who are watching the video, could you do like a scroll of Bonnaroo number 1? Blankety blank.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right, good.
Yeah.
For those who, want to read along, because who doesn't love reading in a podcast?
And if you do want to watch this, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes,
You know what?
Podcast on YouTube.
It's a great point. You should like and subscribe everywhere. And then if you really, really could do us a solid rate and review, it's very important to the consequence people. Okay.
By the way, we're very close to our subscriber number is very close to the weed number. I don't know if you noticed that.
69?
No, the weed number. That's the sex number.
Oh, it's all the same to me. It's all the same. On what? What is our on what platform?
On YouTube.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Good. That's very nice. I wonder who will be 420.
Who will be the 420th?
Oh, that was the other thing. I can't really talk about it just yet, but I reached out to the Hams kids because I had a interaction with a band that they love a lot, and I haven't followed up with them. But I'm just gonna. This is my closed caption message to the Hams kids. You're going to love it. You are going to lose your mind. All right, so Bonnaroo do's and don'ts. So I guess we can go around the room. I've got probably 7 to 8 essential things that I think that even if you're a rookie or a veteran, things that you should know, things that you should do or don't do on the farm, some of which you may already do, some things you may already practice. So if you have any that you want to throw our way that we can come back to next week at the @_podcast on your twits and your grams. I will start with number 1, Bonna do or don't. Barry Corder, what is Brad Steiner's absolute number 1 do not break ever, 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 ever rule of Bonnaroo?
I don't know.
I talk about it every year.
I know.
Barry.
I'm thinking smoking, hair care,
Smoking.
bathrooms. Like, well, you have so many issues. Which I don't know where you're going with this. What is your number 1?
The biggest rule number 1 rule, Taco, you want to take a stab at it?
Don't bring a hula hoop.
Wow, that's a reach back.
I
there.
do not want. It's fine to bring. Okay, number 1 rule, no matter what, biggest rule of Bonnaroo. I don't care who you are or how good you think you are. Never go hard on Thursday.
Right.
Never go hard on Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah. And what did I do?
You went hard on Thursday.
We all
didn't you?
did that
I
last time.
I did. Yeah.
And how'd you feel on Friday? It just ruins the entire weekend. You never get started right. You never ease your way into a weekend where it culminates in a good way. Especially, it screws you if Friday is your day.
Yeah. Well, that's a great point, and that is number 1, and it definitely should be. And Taco and I were talking a little bit before we got on the air, and I still keep thinking about this whole coming in on Tuesday now and Wednesday. It almost feels like it's 2, maybe even 3 events. Mm-hmm. So whereas we always used to say don't go hard on Thursday,
now you can't go hard on Tuesday, Wednesday,
now you can't go
Thursday,
hard on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday because the thing hadn't even started yet.
I think that the way to think about it is don't go hard on your first night.
Or earlier, yeah. Just pace yourself.
Even though maybe you get there really, like on Wednesday evening and you're setting up some sort of campsite. I wouldn't go hard on Wednesday. I'd treat it pretty light. Then on Thursday, I would still be light. I would still just ease my way in because you really, I'm telling you, I think the whole purpose I'm trying to say is you really want to wake up Friday with your best version of yourself. You
That's
really
right.
want all of the energy that you can muster on Friday because that begins the marathon. And if you're already blistered and getting IV shots, you're screwed. You're screwed.
Yeah, it's going to be in the 90s here this week, and we're a month
Stop
out.
it.
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're talking low 90s here in Tennessee. For those who don't know, we're about an hour away from Manchester. So,
Oh my God, it's going to be into the hundreds or in May.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's going to be warm.
Has anyone started looking at the long range forecast yet?
I haven't.
Okay.
Because you never know, but it's going to be hot. I know. We know it's going to be hot.
Yeah, it's going to change 50 million times before.
I know.
then.
I think
The long range forecast. Useless.
I kind of like it. It makes me feel a little comforted, even though it's total bullshit.
Okay. Let's look it up. Let's look it
It's
up.
sort of like horoscopes. I still read them. No, they're bullshit.
Yeah. What's it going to be? But yeah, definitely pace yourself. I agree. That should be number one.
All right, Barry Cordy, your rule number one. Bonna do, Bonna don't.
Start hydrating now. Start hydrating now. Don't wait.
I would almost say if you want to start hydrating, also start working out.
Start walking.
Yeah. Do some back
Absolutely.
bends. Build up some core strength if you can like muster that in the next 2 weeks. It would really. I got made fun of so bad a couple of years ago, and I'm like, I should start working out for Bonnaroo.
No, I have. There's no question. It's a lot of walking. You're going to do a lot of walking.
What's your average steps every day? How many steps you get a day?
Now it's not fair.
Well, I mean, I know now, but what is your average for in 2019? What was your average?
Well, I'll put it this way.
Do you get three digits? Do you get to 3 digits?
I did the other day. My wife works at a district, and she comes home and she's like, I did 12,000 steps today. And I said, oh, let's look at mine. I think I hit 200. But I've been working from home, so it's not fair. But it's low, which is scary given going to Bonnaroo.
I'm averaging. This is going to blow your mind. Since moving to New York, I'm averaging 17,000 steps a day.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Wow.
And I think a lot of it's just me roaming around the office, to be honest with you, and just like the hidden steps, like walking a couple of blocks to lunch and coming back.
Sure.
The steps you don't really think about.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, start exercising, start hydrating, and start thinking about that along those lines. Taking care of yourself. Eat well.
Taco, Bonna do, Bonna don't. Number one.
Yes. Every year there's somebody that does this. They get their wristband in the mail and they're so excited. They just go ahead and put it on and tighten it up. And then they figure out you can't loosen it to get it off.
That's a great one. So
don't put it on until you're in line.
Yeah.
And you're it doesn't unloosen or doesn't loosen.
Yeah,
it only goes one way.
The point is it's just going to get tighter.
Yep.
It will just get tighter.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
And I will say it wasn't a Bonnaroo, but it was some festival and I can't remember what it was. I had a straight up panic attack because the damn thing got so tight. I just had to, I cut it and I had to spend the next 2 hours trying to get a new one, and it's not easy, and they don't make it easy for a reason. They don't want you doing it.
Yeah,
it's weird.
That's a real good one.
They're not.
It's
happy.
weird that is your number one Bonna do, Bonna don't, considering my number one do or don't for Lord Taco is the same every year, and yet you break it every year.
I'm going to guess.
What, going hard?
No, well, in one way or the other, yeah. You know what I mean.
Saw that coming.
You and Brian Stone.
I do
You and
ignore
Brian
it.
Stone don't follow my 2 biggest rules. Don't hook up at Bonnaroo. It's just so gross.
Break it every year.
Ugh.
Well, I mean, look at that guy. He can't help it.
I know. My number 2, do or don't. Bring stupid. Don't be stupid. So, every year at Camp Nutbutter, I purposefully try to bring something a little bit more stupid than the year before. And it just makes camp more fun. Whether it's an outfit that is really stupid, bring it. If it's something for camp that's really stupid, bring it. Don't bring food, bring stupid. Just don't be stupid. Don't be the stupid guy who's causing all the problems, who's starting a fire, who's, doing karaoke at 4 a.m. Also, by the way, bring stupid, just not the karaoke machine. Keep the karaoke machine at home. It's the only thing I'd say don't bring. Don't bring the karaoke machine. So we started with, if you don't know Camp Nutbutter, it all started because we were all, just camping with each other, and I hated it, frankly. I absolutely hated the camping experience. I didn't want anything to do with it. So if I wanted to be in this place that I loved so much, listening to all these bands that I love so much, I had to figure out a way to make this work for me. So I pitched to everybody at the campsite, hey, why don't we get some carpet and some sofas and a bigger tent? And they all looked at me like I was insane. I was ridiculed. I mean, laughed out of the entire festival. Until the next year, when I brought 700 square feet of carpeting, a giant 20 by 20 wedding tent, all of the creature comforts, the chaise lounge, the chest of drawers, the sofa. When I started bringing all that, the coffee table. What did all of you say? You all said, this is so stupid. Why would you ever do this? This is not camping, man. What is it? And then what do all of you love 10 years later, 15 years later?
Oh, we still make fun of you and think you're stupid. That's never going to change. But yeah, we appreciate, or most of them probably do, that you bring all of that. My problem is that it's become my problem.
Yeah, it's your job now. Yes, Dad's job.
Yeah. Hey, Barry, come by and get the carpet.
Guess who now?
Chair and taco. Yeah.
Guess who has the couch? Me. So guess who's got to bring the couch? Me.
So then the next year after that, I decided, why don't we make this Disney World and really make this thing goofy? So that's when I got everybody's giant head made into a cartoon. We blew it up and we put it on sticks all around the campsite. And not only that, but I made a twister board with everybody's cartoon head on twister. So we had Camp Nutbutter Twister. True. Then we created a giant lit marquee that you could walk under that was solar powered. So at night it would flash at you. I bought, yards and yards and yards and yards of white picket fencing to put around the entire thing. We've got a long... row. What is that thing that it's like something from a wedding that you brought one year, Barry? It's our
I never can think of it. It's like not tool, but
and then so year after year
it's a runway basically.
It's that
it's like a runway.
It's a runway. And so every year we just keep adding stupid to this. A couple years ago we added a mailbox, a giant Camp Nutbutter mailbox that we nailed into the ground, and we put a recorder inside of the mailbox so that anybody that opened it will leave us a voice message on it.
Leave us a message.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, that's the kind of... We then realized that everybody at camp loves Bloody Marys. So we have a tent just dedicated to Bloody Marys because they get sticky and dirty, and we want to keep that over there. Then we have a tent that's just for a kitchen. There was one year that we only had a tent just for the podcast. Taco shows up. He's got the bus. It really is a goofy experience, but the more fun and stupider you make it, I promise you, the better it's going to be.
Yeah, I agree, which kind of goes along with my next one, which would be plan but don't overplan, which sounds contrary to what you just were saying, but it's the same thing. I know early on, 07, 08, 09, even when I was going by myself, I was panicked about... It was like I was going to the moon or something, I felt like I had to bring everything with me for every instance and every emergency and every situation. And partly because of hooking up with you guys and then Camp Nutbutter, figure out who you're going with. If you're going with people, figure out what each can contribute.
Yeah, know your role. And find roles.
Know your role. Yeah, not everybody has to bring the same thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Like the Bloody Mary tent. I think we all, pitched in and brought something, and thought about it, and somebody had the tent, somebody had a table, that kind of thing. You don't have to. You don't have to go buy everything all at once. And if you're coming by yourself,
make friends.
Make friends. Plan on making friends.
Make friends.
Talk
to the person
fine.
next to you. Actually, you know what you should do? Just find the people with the really cool setup, and just link onto them. Just grab them and don't let them go. Preferably some sort of brewery that's set up, because they're the ones that are going to have all the fun booze.
Bring something that can, introduce you as being a good neighbor.
Yeah,
whether it's brewery from where you're from or a food item, whatever. But worry about the hydration, worry about comfort, worry about your tent, your air mattress, those sorts of things. But don't worry about feeling like you have to bring everything.
I feel like to that point, it lends into another thing that you talk about all the time. Let the schedule be a guide, not gospel. You want the schedule to be just an outline of what your day might be. You might find one artist that you absolutely have to see. I wouldn't do any more than that. I wouldn't overcommit yourself to more than 2-3 bands a day, tops, that you absolutely have to see, because you're just going to keep yourself from experiencing things that are happening all around you that you, not necessarily as important as seeing, Doja Cat again.
Yeah. I want to hear Taco's next one, but then I want to ask him a question related. So go ahead. What's your next one?
Probably it's in line with what y'all said. Make friends with your neighbors early. And I would say bring, a lot of people will bring, cards or stickers or little trinkets to hand out. If you can come up with something that when you meet somebody, you give them a little something, and maybe you exchange stickers or cards or, little figures or something, just that makes it more fun when you meet people, and, you get to take something back with you and just keep.
To that point, I'm glad you brought that up. Years ago, I took everybody's giant cartoon head on a stick and made stickers that you could then take the sticker and place it around camps. You could take it to town, bring it to town, and paint your city with your Bonnaroo sticker. I love that idea, Taco. I really do love that idea.
Yeah, and along those lines, it's part of why I ask, is you started in 2018, right, Russ? So you're the newcomer in this trio. Brad and I are both 07, 08.
I am the newest one. Yeah.
So you're probably the most social, in that you've probably made the most friends because of the festival. I know Brad and I have, but you've made friends that you see and speak to pretty regularly, right? Because of this podcast and because of Bonnaroo. So that's another thing I guess I would say to people.
Those friend tentacles, they extend into regular life throughout the whole year.
Yep.
Taco's credit to that.
Yep.
Yeah, I've made a ton of friends that I talk to nearly on an everyday basis now because of Bonnaroo, because of the show.
Yeah. So come with that open mind, ready to make friends. Don't worry about coming alone, I guess would be my don't in that regard. We know lots of people that come from all over the country by themselves who have a great time.
So I mentioned don't let the schedule be your gospel, let it be your guide. I will say 2 things. 1, let the phone go. And 2, make the schedule, take a picture of it, and make it your home screen each day when you wake up in the morning. I read this tip, and I don't remember where it was years ago, but boy, that saved so much battery on my phone. If you got an external, that's really nice, but it's so good to just pop the home screen on and be like, oh, look, okay, what do I have? It's so much easier. It cuts down so much time, and you don't have to carry around a stupid laminated schedule like Brian Stone does every year, which is always wrong.
It's always wrong. Yeah, the phone is another good one. Yeah, put it down. Don't come thinking your phone is gonna be your lifeline like it is probably every other day of the year. it's not going to work. You're not going to be able to text your friends. You're not going to be able to keep up with your group via phone.
Well, Barry,
the service is just
I will
so
say
bad.
the year that the attendance was really bad, phone worked perfect.
It could be good this year. It could be very
What do
good
you
this year.
Barry?
But don't count on it. Yeah, don't count on the. Don't count on your phone. Like I said, being your lifeline, like we're all have become accustomed to, and really you don't want to enjoy what's
All right,
there.
Lord Taco, you're next. Another one.
Barry, you said you had a question for me, or?
Oh, he did.
You answered it. I was asking about the being open to meeting new people and basically just being ready for that, I guess. The other part of the question was how much did you and do you ask other people? I mean, you're in the bus, you camp all the time. You camp pretty much every week. So camping is nothing new for you. But what are the things you've learned in the 2 or 3 that you've been there that maybe you're different, that you would tell people that are coming to camp that are different than, they're going to go to the lake over the weekend?
Like we said, make friends with your neighbors. Do that early. Do that as soon as you are setting up, because chances are you're going to forget something and you might have to ask, hey, I need to borrow something, or they're going to forget something and they're going to ask you. And then once you're friends, it's nice to just know that somebody's around. Like if they're back at camp and you're at the show, they're going to keep an eye on your campsite, just in case something happens. So making neighbors and then sharing,
or in Taco or Brian's case, you might end up sleeping with them.
Or that too, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they have a better air mattress than you do.
I don't know. I came back and Taco's bus is on 2 wheels. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Got the queen size air mattress. Let me jump in. The other, because you talk making friends, is also familiarize yourself with where you are. Get your landmarks. And get them, pay real attention to them, because the place looks a whole lot different at night than it does during the day.
That's so true. Because as a guy who got lost his first year at Bonnaroo,
we all have.
it was the worst feeling in my world. Now, worst feeling in the world. Now it's a little different. I mean, they've got things a lot more lit and, much more put together with the signage and. But boy, those first couple of years where let's not put it this way, if you took a wrong turn, you were walking for half an hour because there was no signage. You had no idea where you were going.
Right.
And if you were coming back blistered, you had no idea where you were going. Yeah. And I got so lost one night. I was literally thought I was in the opening scene of Lean on Me. I was so scared for my life. I was like, what is happening around me? Oh, it was awful.
Yeah, but that's what I mean by get good landmarks. Like, don't go with the gray Honda, Turn left at the gray Honda, because there's going to be more.
I wonder if that's Honda, even a thing anymore, Barry. I don't know if you really need those, because if you go out into Centeroo or into GA, there's flags everywhere. There's spotlights everywhere.
There are, but that's what I'm saying. If you don't pay attention to, like you remember the year the girls, they got so high or whatever they were, and they came up and they noticed our camp. And how many people did we have come up and say, thank you guys for the marquee and the signs, because that's what we use as our
Which is sad landmark. Because back where we camp, there's only 2 roads.
But when it got dark, it could look a little strange. So that's my point. Yeah. So pay good attention to some sort of landmark that's going to look the same, no matter what time of day, or how altered you are.
My next Bonna don't. It's along the lines of making friends. Do something nice for someone every day. It doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to be, but just one nice thing a day. The karma that you put into the farm will come back to you in ways that you've never expected. So just pass it along, and maybe buy the spicy pie for the guy behind you just once. Maybe give the guy some batteries who might need it. Anything that helps your fellow Roofian just one time a day, it's going to come back to you twofold.
Yeah. Somebody looks like they're struggling a little bit or lost or
check on somebody
or whatever. Just
check on them.
Yeah, check on them. Don't walk over. Don't step over. Check on them. And that's a great point. And I think, especially if this is your first time, I really think you'll find that that's the code. That's part of the code, and it's real. And it's why we have a podcast. It's why we talk about this year round. Is that's a very real thing, and it's pretty cool. I leave there every year thinking, why can't everything be like this? Just be nice.
I mean, especially in the world that we're in today. I mean, every day is just more shitty news over and over and over. This is the one place that we come to that is just 4, 5, 6, 7, we hope 8 days. That's just not shitty. That we're not just totally encompassed with bad news and terrible headlines. We get a few days of being totally good to each other in an idealistic world. Do something nice for somebody if you can every day.
Yeah, that's a great point. Let me go back to the schedule. That's a great point.
I don't mean to interrupt. Hopefully will come out here pretty soon. Barry, we are 38 minutes in. Taco has not opened one PBR yet. What has happened here?
Are you okay, Ross?
Yeah, give me a minute. I'll go get one.
Speaking of checking on somebody.
All right, should we all pause and go get a...
You want to take a PBR break?
Let's go get a sip.
Okay. That's funny. Brad was just talking about having a wellness check on somebody.
I'm trying to do something nice for somebody.
You're trying to look out for me, and I am getting a little thirsty.
Well, wellness check on Taco.
All right, be right back. Welcome back to the What Podcast. It is an episode dedicated to the do's and don'ts of Bonnaroo for those that are new to the festival. This is a good starting place for those who have been to the festival as Bonnaroo veterans. Maybe it's a good refresher time as you start to pack your gear, double check your stuff, give it that once over before it goes in the car. This is it. We're going to try to do our best. If there's anything we miss, let us know. The _podcast on the gram and the twits.
You want to hear the greatest sound in the world?
Yes,
I'm ready. It's very loud. That was a good one. All right, cheers. There you go. I got this new, all these new Brooklyn and New York breweries I'm trying. This is a Sloop Super Soft.
A what?
Super Soft. Don't worry about it. It doesn't. It's not something you'll never taste.
Did it win a blue ribbon?
Not yet. Just
Not
wait.
yet. Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet.
All right.
What I was going to say about the schedule, it should be coming out here soon.
If it hasn't already, by the way.
We're going to do it. Yeah, we're going to do it. It's always fun. Take it, make your list, study it. I mean, that's what we're all going to do for the next 4 weeks is we're going to try to make a schedule that we want to see. Have fun with that. Do it. I think it helps get in your head what's going on. But like Brad said, you're never going to do it. So have fun with it, but don't marry yourself.
Go see something that's not on your list.
Yes.
Go see something that's not on your
Plan
list.
Plan for that. That should be everyone's goal. Everyone's goal should be to leave there with at least one or more act that you had no idea and never heard of that you now love. That to me is a successful. The seeing a favorite act and it blowing your mind is great, and that does happen. But for me, it's coming away with new favorites.
Next up, Taco. You got another one?
I would say now. I mean, we're 30 days right now away. Now is the time to start. I would not necessarily packing, but you need to have a spot in your house to throw Bonnaroo stuff. Start getting it out, especially if you haven't been in a couple of years. You might need to search your house for all of your camping stuff, all your supplies, and you're going to think of stuff in the middle of the day and be like, oh, I need to grab that. just go ahead and throw it in the pile so that it's all there to put in the car.
It's a great point, because scheduled day was always the day, Barry, that we would all get together. That would be the day we brought Camp Nutbutter together for the first time in 335 days. Everybody would get together. We'd have a meeting. We go through the stuff that we wanted to see, and then we'd all say, okay, what do we have left? What is our stuff like? Does everybody still have blank? Do you still have blank? This is the time to not only check your stuff, but check in on your other camp members' stuff and to see what they have, and just coalesce around what you need, what you don't need. And again, you know what you don't need? Dry ice.
No.
Stop with the dry ice. And frankly, you don't need food. You need basic food stuff. You need sandwich stuff. You need, bars and quick fuel, but you do not need a grill. You do not need massive amounts of food. The food there is world class. You do not need food.
Yep, that was my biggest mistake the first year, because have gone camping and I'm used to bringing my own food because you're out in the woods. So I packed as if I'm going out in the woods to be alone for. That's right. And I brought all this food to prep, eggs and burgers and stuff, and I threw it all away because even if you're like, oh, I'm hungry, I should make something.
You don't have time for it.
Right. Oh, but this vendor over here is really good. I can just go over here.
Yeah. Plus, again, you do not have time unless it's really early in the morning or really late at night. You will not have time to make food. What a waste of time to sit there and try and. One guy did come one year and make us like eggs one morning, and that was fine. That was adorable and cute, but I don't want to do that every day.
Yeah, no, it was a lot. And to Taco's point about find a place in your house. Put everything.
Yeah, start making a pile.
I mean, how many times have we left there with like a tent pole that broke?
Currently, if anyone's listened to any of these other shows, Barry's currently in his Bonnaroo room. Everything down there has just been thrown there at some point. It's like in previous Bonnaroos.
Pretty much. And when I come home, I try to pack it as
you're about to leave again.
Because I don't want to try to rely on my brain to remember, oh, that tent pole is broken, or I need to replace that.
Yeah, speaking of,
whatever.
Go ahead and assemble your tent, your easy up, whatever you got, just to make sure everything's there and that it's not broken. Because you don't want to.
I always put it up. Yeah, you don't want to get there and find out the rats have eaten it, or you forgot something, or it's dry.
By the way, I didn't really realize that was a thing. Barry, rats ate through my tent. We were gonna have to buy a whole new tent this year. But
it happens. I mean, moths.
But turns out we will not need to buy a new
Especially.
tent because of the Bonnaroo donated tents to New Orleans. There were extras left over.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. There you go.
Very nice.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Very nice. Thank you, Bonnaroo.
So I always put my tent up the week of and pack it, and I pretty much keep my stuff in the it's ready to go, like it's a go bag type of thing. Plan for those extra days this year. That's something that's going to be a little bit different for veterans, especially those of us that are thinking about going that Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't. That and the whole, there's so many different events planned out in the plazas and whatever. Those to me are the things that I can't quite wrap my head around how it's going to change the function of
your just day-to-day operation.
And that's a good point too. Plan on doing something out in the campgrounds one day because there's so much stuff.
That's where everybody is, Taco.
Yeah. Well, but no, there's actual events happening. And you could miss them if you're in Centeroo all the time. There's Where in the Woods. Right. There's something at every single plaza. There's pop-up shows. There's stuff going on that there's the bear exchange. We haven't even talked about the beer exchange.
They're trading bears?
Yeah.
Oh, beers. Got it.
Beers.
Can we be honest, though? If I would have said that, you guys would have annihilated me. If I would have said, go out to the camp, the general admission at one time. Yeah. Come on, guys. You guys would rip me apart.
All of us, for sure. Yeah, it was never on our radar.
I agree. It really is. And by the way, the beer exchange is really fun. Just be aggressive at that beer exchange because people get way too nice, and they are. I was way too nice that first year. I wish I would have really been more aggressive. I'd like to get into like the self-care section of the do's and the don'ts. I've got a few self-care tips from the biggest diva in the history of Bonnaroo campers. I don't know if you in your life know anybody that does yoga or is a health coach or likes voodoo medicine, but I know a lot of it sounds like bullshit. But I'm going to change your Bonnaroo life for a second. The minute that the wife brought this item to camp, it changed my entire Bonnaroo existence. Let me introduce you to what is called a yoga wheel. Now, I know this wheel looks like just a random, ridiculous thing. But if you learn how to use it, you roll on it the middle of the night, when you get out of bed because bed is stiff, the air mattress is not working, maybe you didn't sleep so well, you get on this yoga wheel and everything changes. I say this to you, if you hear nothing more that I say for the rest of time, do the yoga wheel. Find a space in your car for the yoga wheel, because if you get your back on this, if you have a tiny bit of back problem, right? If your back hurts just a little bit, roll on the yoga wheel, everything changes. I can't stress this enough.
Along those lines, dress for comfort, dress for the heat, dress for dust, dress for dirt. Bring comfortable shoes, comfortable clothes. Don't dress thinking.
I don't actually agree with that, Barry. I'm going to actually push back on that because I think that if you want to show up and know what you're getting into, wearing something ridiculous like, I don't know, Taco's Tyrannosaurus Rex costume, I think it would be I think it'd be fun, but you just got to know what you're getting yourself into.
No, I guess what I'm thinking is the first couple of years, the Tivas, everything that you read was wear sandals with straps, because when you step in a mud puddle, your shoe's going to come off or your sandal's going to come off and you'll never get it back. So, I mean, I did all that, and I didn't want to ruin like good tennis shoes. And then after about the third or fourth year, I thought, I'm bringing my good tennis shoes and I'm going to be comfortable walking, and, just don't step in a mud puddle or whatever. That's part of what I'm talking about. And
I tell you what me and Nick Turner do.
If you want to wear angel wings and dinosaur costumes, whatever, have at it.
I hear, but let me. This is what me and Nick Turner realized a few years ago. We would men's shoes are pretty inexpensive. You can get a $50 pair of Vans and get the insoles put in them, and you've got a pair of shoes that if they get destroyed at Bonnaroo, who cares? Who cares? Even Nick bought. He bought a brand new pair of Vans, and this idiot decided to get stark white Vans just so that he could see how disgusting they would be by Sunday, and they were horrid. So if you're going to spend money on something, knowing that you're probably never going to use it again, buy a mid-range pair of Vans, get the insoles, and prepare for them to not come back.
No, that's a good point. Which one of you is running a vacuum cleaner all of a sudden?
Somebody's mowing in 90-degree heat.
I guess to amend what I said, don't, buy $400 shoes because they're comfortable, because you might step in a mud puddle or a dust, but plan on walking and dress accordingly, I guess, and plan on being hot and dress accordingly is what I'm saying.
The other self care piece that I'd give you. I know this sounds weird, but I have a big problem breathing when it gets hot. It is Taco. Taco, you've got a neighbor doing some yard work, buddy. So I know this sounds crazy, but it gets really hot, and I have a tough time breathing when it's hot. So we bring essential oils, peppermint, breathe oil, if you know doTERRA. Like, peppermint oil is fantastic, not just to put under your nose or your chest to help you breathe, but boy, you put some of those drops on an ice cold towel that you've dipped the towel and then put the drops in the towel and then wrap that around your neck. Whew,
Yeah, it's nice.
Your body temperature changes by 10 degrees,
Nice,
it feels like.
for sure.
All right, speaking of dressing for the heat, you want to hear? I've got the forecast pulled up for the month. You want to hear
The whole month, I'm ready.
what it says right now?
I'm in.
Well,
can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead, guess.
High of 92, chance of showers 20%.
Not quite 92. The highest it gets is 87 on Saturday. Like 82, 84, 87
That's
pretty
not bad.
much the whole week. Not too bad.
That's not bad.
The lows is like 63, 64.
By the way, I'm glad you brought that up, Taco. It gets cold at night.
Yeah.
It gets very cold at night. Prepare to bring hoodies, a blanket to sleep under that's going to be warm. I know it takes up a lot of space, but it really...
Dinosaur onesie?
It really will freeze you out at night. It is super, super cold, especially when the wind starts moving through the farm.
Yeah, the dew,
during a show.
Moisture on the ground because you're sleeping on the ground. It didn't used to, but the last 10 or 8 or 9 years, it's gotten really cold at night. So
I mean, I've been so unprepared for the cold that I have left shows in the middle of it at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning because it's just too damn cold.
Sure, I agree. Yeah, plan for that. Plan for rain. Bring a poncho, whatever, something you can carry with you and have with you. Along those lines, don't bring a lot to carry, especially if you're going to go, into Centeroo. I mean, you can bring it for your camp, but it's a pretty good ways. I know where they're going to have jam tracks and all that, and hopefully they figure that out. And
also, they're going to search it. They'll search whatever you bring.
But I'm just saying, you don't want to have something you're going to have to carry around for 7-8 hours or more.
All right.
Well, you might consider getting a locker in Centeroo because you can rent them for I don't know how much,
option.
but then just throw all your stuff in there for
that's an option.
the weekend. And
Lord Taco, yet again, our connection to the common man.
He does this.
I had no idea about the lockers. I had no idea.
We got a locker at Shaky Knees.
Did you really? How much did it cost you?
It was, I don't remember, but it was worth every penny. It was, $20 or $30.
Holy shit! Did you have it the whole weekend, or is that per day?
No, it was the whole weekend, and
Okay.
and we split it. I mean, if you've got a friend, I mean, you can easily split a locker and just put your blankets or jackets or whatever you got. And then it also comes with a phone charger. You get a battery pack to charge your phone.
Whoa! You get to keep the battery pack, or does it stay with them?
You give them a $10 deposit, and then when you return the battery, you get the $10 back.
Got it. I didn't know that. That's really clever.
Well, and hopefully they do that at Bonnaroo too, because it's a great idea.
Nice.
That is a good idea. It's the same people. Yeah, they're gonna do it.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
My third self-care tip. Yes, baby powder works. It is one of the most emasculating things that I've ever done in my life, because once you do it, here's the thing about baby powder, is that there's no escaping the fact that everyone knows you just powdered yourself. There's no way around it. And you can't just subtly go behind a tree or into your thing and powder where you need to go. No, because there's no easy way to get it into the thing. So just ball of
No, you're right.
stuff, and you look like a gymnast getting on the pole vault where you just get everywhere. But it is a lifesaver. It is an absolute lifesaver. And it's one of these things where if I could figure out, if somebody could invent a baby powder thing, and maybe somebody knows the answer to this, but if somebody could invent a baby powder thing that didn't have all of the, cloudiness to it, oh God, I need it in this city so bad. I mean, I have already in this city multiple times been like, ooh, I need to...
All right.
Just let me side saddle this seat for a second.
Nice. That's a good tip, though. Yeah. Again, plan for comfort.
I have one more. Another crazy self-care tip. And I know this one's going to be batshit crazy, but just give it a try before you go there. Maybe you don't like them, but it's worth a try. The wife turned me on to, I had this, so when I was a kid, I was convinced that I had an invention that was going to change the world, and that was Netflix. It did. But my other invention, I did.
Mine was a moped.
I had this invention.
I invented the moped when I was 7. I really did.
I really think that every kid has got the invention that's going to change the world. Every kid's got one.
Yeah.
You can ask any 9-year-old right now. They've got some sort of batshit crazy idea that Elon Musk will have in 15 years, and all of us are like, why in the hell didn't we do that?
Yeah.
So this was mine when I was a kid. I hated as a kid brushing my teeth. I always said, why can't I just take a pill and pop it into my mouth and boom, have my teeth brushed? Done. Should be much easier than this. Well, I said that in passing one day, and Hillary goes, you mean like these? And handed me a jar full of toothpaste tablets. Toothpaste tablets. It's a real thing. You take the toothpaste tablet, you pop it in your mouth, you swish it around for about 90 seconds to 2 minutes, you spit, or you can swallow. You spit it out, you rinse it out with water, your mouth, game changer. Game changer.
Okay.
If I've had a bad day, I pop in a tablet, I'm just walking around the office, I don't have to brush. I do carry a toothpaste and toothbrush in my work bag, but the toothpaste tablets are so much easier. They're so much more convenient. Nice. And if you are somebody like a Russ or a Brian who is going to risk it with hooking up at Bonnaroo, even though I'm telling you not to do it, use the toothpaste tablets. It's better than mouthwash.
My other one, and I've said this every year, is don't bring ice. Bring your cooler. Go and buy a case of bottled water and freeze it, and use that as the ice in your cooler. It doesn't get sloshy, it doesn't make your food wet, and it's drinkable. So that's the best tip that I ever got. For the most part, they stay frozen till almost the end, and so on Sunday I'm drinking ice cold water. I hate the plastic and what all that's doing. But as far as convenience, that's been a good one for me.
Does Taco have any more health, safe, or self-care tips before we get to our last one? I know this is not your department.
No, I'm probably the last person to give self-care tips. So no, I think you covered it.
All right, my final one. And I know not everybody agrees with me on this, and it's a little bit harder to pull off in GA. But if you can, I think that there's not a better feeling on that farm than a late night shower.
Absolutely.
The 2 a.m. shower, there is nothing that feels better than going to sleep clean. Cleanish. There's nothing better than that feeling. I absolutely am obsessed with that 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I don't care how late it is. I really don't.
Yeah,
it
great.
really doesn't matter to me. The later, the better. Plus, the rush in the morning is...
Yeah.
Who wants to deal with that?
It's a good one. Also, along those lines, bring water and actual soap. I remember first couple of years I just used like hand sanitizers. And made the mistake of leaving camp and stopping at that gas station across the way there and washed my hands.
All right, for somebody who doesn't know, how do you transport your soap?
A bar soap in a plastic.
I understand, but what if you drop the bar soap? That's a goner. Never picking that thing back up.
I don't drop the soap, Brad. I learned that at boys' school.
Boys' school.
Yeah. Drop the soap.
Boys' school.
With the school.
I'm sorry, I never enrolled in boys' school. So you're right.
You never went to boys' school?
That sounds like the place you do drop the soap, Barry.
No, I never had that issue, Brad. But don't just rely on hand sanitizers. Soap and water.
Well, this is where I would think I like having a friend in the hotel industry, because I like having the teeny tiny little soaps that I can carry, and if something were to happen, I can just run right through it. I bring like 10 of them.
I mean,
well, I'll tell you what I got. I've got the little soap dispenser, little squeeze bottle with a suction cup on the side. So you get in the shower, you don't have a place to set it down, you stick it to the wall and it stays there.
okay, there you go. See?
Yeah, but in those Bonnaroo showers, I don't think you need the suction cup for stuff to stick on the side.
You can, and I've heard other people. I think Charla on the Real Rubus, they've been talking some of these tips, and they made a lot of sense of this. Start now buying your stuff. Some of your toiletries and whatnot, rather than wait till the day, the weekend of or whatever, and spending all that.
Yeah, but
money.
I'm having a really hard time with this sticking something to the side of the shower and the Bonnaroo thing. This is really getting very weird. Have you seen some of the things that are on the side of that wall?
No, I try not to.
Honestly, you know what? Oh my God, I just got a great idea. I would totally bring, before I got into that shower, what is that spray bottle of like clean the shower thing? I would bring that and just start spraying the thing down just so I feel a little bit better about myself.
Yeah.
Why not just spray yourself with it and skip the shower?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah. So,
but you can get a lot of you can start buying now. Your Walmarts and your dollar stores have, the travel size shampoos and soaps and all those things. Start buying them now. You don't, obviously not going to buy your perishable foods and stuff right now, but start getting that so you're not hit with a big ticket, big cost all at once.
Yeah. Did somebody on Twitter, did I see? Oh yeah. Somebody asked me about hair care tips. First off, I have none to share because it always looks perfect. Secondly, what I have noticed is that it is better for me, truly, to not wash my hair, because if you're a guy like me who wants it, Barry can get out of the shower and it's just there. It needs a little bit of work, right? And I'm very particular. What I found is that I can't get the heat to relent enough for my hair to do what I want it to do. So it's better that I just don't wash it, which makes the showering process so much easier. I'm not carrying around a whole bunch of shampoo, but in a pinch, shampoo is an easy soap.
Sure.
If you really need to, they when Avita was the big sponsor, I mean, I had dropped the soap, and it was a goner. So I just loaded up on a whole bunch of Avita shampoo. And
you'll never make it in boys' school.
I'm disappointed, Dad, so bad. I'm so sorry, Dad.
Hey, Brad, I could see him with a bag of like 10 soaps. Well, that one's gone, but got to get another one. Got to bring extras.
Disappointed in my whole family. All right. The last thing that I had for you, and it's because we've tried this at our camp, and I'm willing to have my mind changed. But Barry Corder, Lord Taco, what are your thoughts on the disposable camera?
Oh, it was a good idea. It was a fun idea. It didn't work.
Doesn't work
for whatever reason.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, it felt
doesn't work, and it's so expensive.
Well,
it is so expensive.
Yeah.
So here's our experience with the throwaway camera, the disposable camera. Great theory, fantastic. The Polaroids work better. If you're willing to spend the money on one of these things, the Polaroid things work a lot better. In fact, I've got one around here somewhere because we had a Polaroid at camp one time. But the disposable cameras, the problem is you're never going to get enough light. And the times that you're using them, they just don't work like you remember them working. You can point them at things, but you're not taking a picture of anything. And that's just not what I remembered happening back in the day when I had a disposable camera. I thought that I was always taking these perfect pictures. But we did this. We must have had 12 of them. 12, 35 pictures a piece. I mean, we had 300 pictures. 5 of them were usable.
Yeah.
5.
It felt a little... I mean, it felt a little like you were asking somebody to not work, but plan. You know, like you had to carry it around. You had to have it with you when the right moment, or you had to intentionally go out to look for pictures. It was a great idea.
Well,
it just
I mean, that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted you to
No, I'm not being ugly about it.
Thing.
It just, it's typical of me with a camera. It's like I never have I have my phone, which has a camera, but, it's, you never have it when the perfect picture is available, or now you got to carry. Anyway, it was a great idea, but you're right. Yeah. I think we got 3 pictures.
It was terrible. I don't even know where they are anymore.
Yeah. So
all right. I'm sure there's more. Let us know, the _podcast on the Twits and the Instagrams, or I don't even know if we have a Facebook, but let us know.
We do.
Let us know some of yours, or even thewhatpodcast.com, and drop it in the comments. So
speaking of, you mentioned the hair care tip. Somebody did say they'd love for us to do Bonnaroo. We would love to do it, but it's kind of hard to do with the copyright laws anymore. So that was
also
one of my
remotely
favorite bits.
Yeah, remotely it's pretty difficult. The last time we did it, we were all together.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun with Taco and his sound effects.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyway, all right,
you guys are the best. If you think of anything else, let us know. Anything else before we go?
Yeah, dropping a shout out to Rubus. They're having their Wednesday night pre-party out at the bus. They're having Flip Turn is the band. And
I'm a bigger fan of Turn Flip.
Should also thank Consequence again. Thank for letting us be a part of the Consequence Podcast Network.
Are they going to be there?
Yeah, you know what? That's a great question. We haven't even talked with them about plans.
And we got to talk to Alex Consequence. I'm sure he's got
an
idea or two.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. All
right, guys, you're the best. Talk to you next week. The What Podcast. Love you. Bye.
Consequence Podcast Network.